Shalom, everyone. We are continuing our limud of Sefer Yirmiyahu. We are up to Yirmiyahu Perek Mem Zayin. Perek Mem Vav was a nevuah about the downfall of Mitzrayim in two parts: the Battle of Carchemish and the ultimate conquest of Mitzrayim by Bavel, which was more than 20 years later. Now we have a nevuah against the Pelishtim. Now the Philistines are a nation whose origin is actually from Kaftor. Kaftor is Crete, and they migrated to the Mediterranean coast. And throughout the period of the Shoftim, and even during the Malachim, there were certain cities on the Mediterranean coast within the halachic boundaries of Eretz Yisrael that at various times were under Philistine domination. Shaul had problems with the Pelishtim. David HaMelech had problems with the Pelishtim. And even though Shlomo HaMelech managed to conquer that, but later the Pelishtim took it over again. A very, very militant, warlike people. And so Azza, Ashkelon, again, towns on the Gas, towns on the Mediterranean coast, Ekron, and the like. Now, what happened was that eventually, after the Churban Beis HaMikdash, Mitzrayim conquered Azza, the major Philistine city, but eventually Bavel, when they conquered Mitzrayim, also conquered the Pelishtim. So Yirmiyahu is kind of going back and forth here. He is talking about the downfall of the Philistines, but sometimes he is referring to the Egyptians conquering the Philistines, and sometimes he is referring to the Babylonians later conquering the Philistines. As far as the Philistines were concerned, lo ma'ila v'lo ma'arid, either way they're being conquered, and this is a nevuah that the Peleshes shall fall and be defeated for all of the evil they did for Am Yisrael. So Perek Mem Zayin Pasuk Aleph says this: Yerhaya Devar Hashem El Yirmiyahu Navi El Pelishtim, about the Pelishtim, not to the Philistines, but about the Pelishtim. Baterem Yaakov Paro Es Azza, and this was even before Paro conquered Azza, so the Philistines are in charge of their cities. Pasuk Beis, Kayamar Hashem, so says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hine Mayim Eilim Mitzafon, behold, water is coming from the north. Now that only makes sense if that's a reference to Babylonia. Mitzrayim is not north of the Philistines, Mitzrayim is south. So we have to say the Mayim Eilim Mitzafon is a reference to Nebuchadnezzar. Water is coming from the north, and it will get bigger and bigger and bigger, like a river or a stream that sweeps away everything. It'll sweep away your land, meaning your inhabitants. And the people shall scream in pain, and they will wail, Kol Yoshvei Haaretz. Mikael Shatas Parsos Abirav Meirash Lerich Bayamon Galgalav, because of the awesome sound of the hooves of the mighty horses coming from Bavel, and the chariots and the wheels, described as a tremendous noise. You're going to be running, and Loihifnu Avai Shel Banim Mirifin Yadam, you will be so weak and so disillusioned and so confused that parents will not even check to see if their children are safe. Normally, if people have to run away from a dangerous situation, an earthquake or tornado, an enemy, they look and see if their children are safe. But here the panic is going to be so great that the fathers will not even look as to where the children are. Ala Yom Haba Lishdodes Kol Pelishtim, and that day will come in which all of the Philistines will be plundered. Lahachris Litzor Litzidon, and that includes northern cities on the Mediterranean coast. Tzor is Tyre and Sidon. Kol Sarid Izer, any remnant of any nation that would even help the Philistines. Ki shodeit Hashem es Pelishtim she'eris ei Kaftor. Hashem is plundering the Philistines, who are the remnants of the island of Kaftor. Again, Kaftor is Crete, and that was said to be the origin of the Pelishtim. Ba korcha el Aza. Baldness has come to Aza. Again, baldness, just as baldness means taking away all the hair, so all of the wealth, all of the productivity, all of the people shall be plucked up as if Aza will now be bald, bereft of everything. Nidmasa Ashkelon. Ashkelon, another Philistine city, will be silenced. She'eris imkam ad masai tigogadi. The remainder of your valleys, because the Philistine country was largely valleys along the seacoast. Ad masai tisgodadi. Again, describing them as a woman. How long will you cut yourself in mourning? Because cutting the body was a minhag of Avelis. The Torah answers it, but it was practiced among the Umos HaOlam. And then rhetorically, the Navi turns to the sword that's attacking the Philistines. Hay cherev l'Hashem, the sword that God has sent. Ad ana lo tishkaiti, when will you be quiet? When will you stop killing? Hey asvi el tarech, go back into your sheath. Hey ragi, rest. Vidomi, and be silent. Talking to the sword. Sword, go back. Keep quiet. But then the Navi answers, Eich tishkaiti. How can you be quiet? Hashem tzivala, God commanded the sword to do its job. El Ashkelon, v'el Chayf Hayam, to Ashkelon and the seacoast. Sham Ya'ada. God has directed the sword to go there. The sword cannot retire from its mission until it completes the task. So that is the short nevuah against the Pelishtim.